Hi everyone, welcome to Let's Get Political. My name is Alicia Reese, I am your host, and today we have the representative Rita Harris with us. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. So the first question is, who is your best friend at the Capitol?
The lunch ladies. Because, you don't have time to eat and they take good care of you.
That's really good.
It's true though, it's true. I think the lunch ladies are everybody's best friend.
They have all of the food and they know, oh, this one likes chicken nuggets, so I'll just hold a few back for them.
They do, and they have all the tea. They know everything.
That's true.
They have the sweetened tea for lunch and then they have the tea as well.
Question 2, who is your best friend from across the aisle?
I would say Rip Porras, because he always comes with the Cuban coffee shots. Like towards the end of session when everybody's dragging, he comes out with like these little shots, and they're only like about it's like a thimble full of coffee, but boy, it packs a punch.
Question 3, what do you do when you're not at the Capitol?
Well, when I'm not in Tallahassee, I'm out in the community doing things. I love my community. I lived here for 20 years, so regardless of if I was serving my community in Tallahassee or not, I would be engaged in doing things and advocating for us. So that's what I do. A lot of constituent services, making sure that our community and our residents are taken good care of. Any problems that they have, we're there to assist. A lot of people don't realize that's a huge part of being a legislator, is also providing like really good constituent service, almost like customer service, making sure that you're available and you're there for any problems that might come up or any help that they need. And so there's a lot of ways we can help too. Obviously our primary goal is to pass the budget. That's the one bill that we have to pass. But also we have a lot of contacts at these state agencies. And so if someone's having an issue or a problem, like say with their unemployment, we're able to reach out and have conversations with these agencies where they might not be able to and provide some assistance. And we were able to do that several times over the summer. And then that's a really gratifying thing. And as for being up in session, when we're not actually at the Capitol in session, we're going over our bills, we're making phone calls, we're trying to work to get things moving or to help other reps get their good bills moving.
So it's a 24/7 job.
It really honestly is, but I love it. So I'm doing something that I absolutely love. So while it's work, it's a grind, it's a happy grind. It's something I enjoy doing.
I like that. It's a happy grind.
It's a happy grind.
Question 4, what's your favorite bill that you put forth last year?
It's really hard to just pick one because obviously you love them all. I think in addition to like the drop allowing teachers to come back out of retirement to help, because I know that we're dealing with not just a teacher shortage, but like a bus driver shortage and other support staff shortage. I would think, the Holocaust Remembrance Bill is really personal to me. I am of Jewish ethnicity. I serve a district that has about 40% of the Jewish community in the Orange County, Central Florida area live in my district. And we've seen a rise in anti-Semitism. And we've seen a rise in just, unfortunately, hate in general. But in my district alone, we saw 4 acts, and then recently again, there was just another act recently of anti-Semitism. And so I really feel that, in addition to like passing bills and we're supposed to be kind of like leaders as far as like showing, how our moral, I don't want to say moral, compass, but we're supposed to be leaders in that sense and make sure that everybody in our districts feel welcome and included. And so I really wanted to make sure that, all communities knew that they were welcome here. And that includes our Jewish community, but it also includes our Muslim community, our Hindu community, and our Christian community. We have such a beautiful community. It's so diverse. And I wanted to make sure everyone knows that they're welcome here. When my husband and I decided to buy a house here, so yeah, grow up here, that was one of the things that really drew us to it. My daughter has never left the country, right? But through our neighbors, she has been all over the world. We have neighbors from Pakistan, Haiti, China, Pittsburgh, Morocco. And through that experience, just living on our block alone, she has experienced the world and has got to meet people and learn about cultures way outside of hers. And that is just one of the things I think that makes our district so remarkable.
What is a bill that someone else put forth that you are passionate about and you didn't realize you were passionate until they put it forth?
I think the Asian American Pacific Islander history bill, because, it really brought forth the fact that we don't talk about that a lot in schools, and that is required education now in K through 12. And I think talking about our diverse district, really kind of brings that home, that we do have a large Asian American Pacific Islander community in our district, and how their history, their American history, is not really told in schools. And so we need to make sure that we are capturing all people's histories. We're telling truthful histories. We're telling it how it happened, and that all people feel like they are seeing representation of themselves in the American story, because they truly are part of the American story.
Do you live in your district?
Yes, I do. I actually live just about a mile or 3/4 of a mile from where we are right now. And we bought that house in 2009, so we've lived there since 2009. But I've lived in the Hunters Creek, Meadowwood, South Chase area since 2002 when we first moved here to Florida. And I absolutely fell in love with it. I love the area.
Sum up your campaign in one word.
I would say fierce. And fierce in all of the different ways it can represent. Fierce is that I'm a fighter. Fierce is that I like to have fun. Fierce isn't Renaissance kind of fierce. I just think we have a fierce campaign, and I feel like we also run a joyful campaign. It's a lot of joy. We have fun. It's hard work to run for office, but it's also an experience like no other. And I think you should savor it and really, enjoy it while you're doing it. And I think that resonates with people. I think they see that we're joyful, and they kind of like that,
If you win, how do you realistically see Florida in the next 2 years?
So I really do think that we will see more parity amongst the parties. And I think that that's something that people desperately want. And I think that people have a lot of opinions about really lopsided states, in which we are one of them. Even people that may have a ideological bent towards one party or the other see how it is when one party has just an enormous amount of power, and how they don't really have to come to the table. And I think what people want to see is that give and take and that push and pull, that is kind of what our American political system is kind of built on. And hopefully we'll get to a place where all parties have a seat at the table, including my party, and that we're able to, our ideas are taken more seriously and brought into the fold. And that's how we have the best type of policy made, when all ideas are brought to the table and we kind of parse it out in that way. If I have to convince you why my idea is good and you have to convince me why your idea is good, that's when we find the best ideas.
What is something about the Capitol that you can tell people that have never been up there? What's a little secret?
What is a little secret about the Capitol?
Something you love about the Capitol.
Well, a lot of people might not know this, but on the top floor there's like a lookout, and I love it because it's a great place to go and just kind of get. I love to see the sky and the sun and all that. I love that type of thing. It kind of rejuvenates you. And so it's a nice little place to go for a few minutes and chat. And it's also a great place to have a conversation with your colleagues and with stakeholders. That's a little bit quieter, a little bit more, neutral than your office. So it's a great space for that as well.
What do you think is the biggest misconception about your job?
The biggest misconception about the job is that we make a lot of money. And I think they confuse us with congressional representatives who do make a decent salary. I think $160 or something like that $1,000 a year. We make take home $29,000 a year. And so there are a lot of people who think that we make a lot of money, and we don't. That's one big misconception. And another one is that I go to Washington. And I have to explain to people that I go to Tallahassee, and that we do have representatives that do go to Washington, and there's layers of government from the county to the city to the state going up. But yeah, the biggest one is probably the amount of pay that we get as a state rep. It does unfortunately keep people out. A lot of the people who do serve are independently able to serve, and they don't rely on that income, because it's not a lot of income. And our legislative aides and our district aides, they don't get paid very much either, but they get paid more than we do. Which is, I think, another misconception. People don't realize that our district aide and our legislative aides make more, not a lot more, but they do make more of a salary than we do. I think by $4,000 or $5,000. And they also do a lot of work.
Yeah.
They work sometimes 15, 16 hours a day, especially when we're going through something like we live in a hurricane-prone state, and if we get hit with a hurricane, there's a lot of constituent services that need to be done in that situation. And the staff, your team, they step up and they make the biggest difference in an office, and they often put in a lot of hours. Reaching out to stakeholders, energy companies, to find out what's going on when no power, because a lot of constituents reach out to you and they say, when will the power be put up? And they don't have a direct line. So, you're able to relay information from stakeholder to community and let people know what's going on, why their power is on, when it might be on, and just helping constituents find a place to stay if they're in a situation where they can't remain in their home. And so, like I said, your whole entire staff, state reps, we get a district aide and a legislative aide. We get 2 paid staff positions, and I mean they're so important and so vital to the success of the district and allowing you to serve your constituents.
If you weren't doing this job, what would you be doing?
I'd be doing what I was doing before, which is probably, volunteering for a great organization, perhaps working for a good organization. I would still be out in the community, helping people. It's something I love to do, and I know that is like the pat answer that a lot of elected officials give, but it really is. I enjoy helping my community. I help connecting people to resources. I love helping to empower people. So that's probably what I'd be doing. I'd be doing what I was doing before I was elected. I'd probably be at somebody's door, knocking their door, letting them know about either a candidate or organization that they didn't know about.
What is something about your job that the average person doesn't know?
I think in addition to how little we get paid, the fact that we can help them, and because the one thing in this position that can be disheartening at times is how late people reach out to you because they don't realize their state rep can help them with this. And so that would be one thing I'd love to relay to people is that if you're going through something, reach out. And if we cannot help you, if it is a county or city issue, or if it's a federal issue, then we can guide you to the right people and follow up and make sure that they are also taking care of you. And so I would really love people to know that, reach out to us the minute you're going through something, because that is when we are able to help the most, not like the day before you need to have something, because that's when it's the hardest. But as soon as you're encountering something, reach out. If we can't help you, we'll connect you to people who can. We have an abundance of resources that we have connections to, and we're able to get you in touch with them as well. And that's what we're here for. That's why this is the part of the job that I love the most.
What does your perfect day include?
My perfect day, it includes going out into the community, attending some events, being around people, running into my friends out in the neighborhood, which happens a lot. Finding out that constituent that had an issue the issue was resolved and that they're happy, and that something that they were really concerned about is now something that they don't have to be concerned about anymore. Coming home a little bit earlier than usual to be able to spend some time with my husband because I miss him so much. I don't get to see him that much. But that would be like my perfect day. It's just, like I said, when I get that phone call and I get that text that like a constituent issue has been resolved, that is like the greatest feeling. You're like, yes, you share it with your team. Look, and they're like, yes, and also being able to be out in the community, doing community events and seeing people and talking to them.
So that has been Let's Get Political. I am Alicia Reese. This is Rita Harris. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll be back soon with another interview. All right.
Bye. Bye.